शुरुआत करने से पहले एक छोटी सी शायरी भी मैं कहना चाहती हूँ आपको। मिर्ज़ा गालिब जी की शायरी है, जो लिरिक्स से थोड़ा रिलेटेड है, आपको सबको अच्छा लगेगा बिल्कुल। इश्क पर जोर नहीं, इश्क पर जोर नहीं, है ये जो आतिश गालिब। इश्क पर जोर नहीं, है ये जो आतिश गालिब, कि लगाए ना लगे और बुझाए ना बुझे। So, ये छोटी सी शायरी थी।
Lovely, lovely. Thank you.
Beautiful.
तो शुरुआत करते हैं इश्क बिना। आपको मेरी सबको मेरी आवाज सुनाई तो दे रही होगी ना सही से?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
इश्क बिना क्या मरना यारा, इश्क बिना क्या जीना, इश्क बिना क्या मरना यारा, इश्क बिना क्या जीना। गढ़ से मीठा इश्क, इश्क इमली से खट्टा इश्क, वादा ये पक्का इश्क, इश्क धागा ये कच्चा इश्क। हो नीचे इश्क है, ऊपर रब है, इन दोनों के बीच में सब है। नीचे इश्क है, ऊपर रब है, इन दोनों के बीच में सब है। एक नहीं सो बातें कर लो, सौ बातों को एक मतलब है। रब सबसे सोना इश्क, इश्क रब से भी सोना इश्क, रब सबसे सोना इश्क, इश्क रब से भी सोना इश्क। इश्क बिना क्या मरना यारा, इश्क बिना क्या जीना। Thank you so much.
My goodness, absolutely wonderful.
Lovely, lovely. Thank you, Vaishnavi.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful. Nilofer, your question?
Yes, yes. You know, I'm actually struggling with some bad network out here today. I don't know what's going on. But I think we're okay now. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, brilliant.
So there's a very interesting there's a very interesting moment why my dad left the army and came to films to become a filmmaker, to become a songwriter. So my dad made two attempts. He made two attempts to become a songwriter. He was in the army. He was a soldier in the army, and he began writing poetry when he was in the army. He was writing poetry since he was a kid. He was singing, writing his own poetry, and composing his own poetry, and singing his own poetry to his friends since he was a kid. And that appreciation encouraged him, and he kept doing it, you know. And then he joined the army, and while he was in the army, he began writing even more seriously, much more often, and singing his poems, his songs to his his mates in the army. And their encouragement encouraged him to come to Bombay They said, what are you doing in the army? You write so well. You should be in the film industry. You should go to Bombay. Leave the army and go to Bombay. And those days he was in Jabalpur. It's near Lucknow in the UP. And so my dad was, so while he was in the army in the 1950s, 1950 exactly, the army has a very popular journal. Every annual, they have a very popular annual. It's an annual that is published every year. It's called Sainik Samachar. And they publish articles on the soldiers, articles written by the soldiers across India, So my dad submitted a poem written by him to Sainik Samachar, and they published it. When the poem got published, for him, my dad was always looking for signs of good luck. He always believed that there are that signs that nature, the universe, God sends us signs of good luck. And when the signs come, you should encash on those signs. He was a believer in good luck. Of course, hard work, but good luck also. So when his poem got published in the Sainik Samachar, which was a premium annual of the Army, Indian Army, he felt very encouraged, and he got a lot of appreciation from his seniors, captains, majors, generals. All read it and said, "Oh, Anand Bakshi, you write very well. Superb. You're a good writer. You're a good poet." So he felt so encouraged that the army publication has published his poem, that he left the army and came to Bombay to become a songwriter. That was the first time he left the army, encouraged by the poem which got published in the Sainik Samachar. He came here in 3 months' time. His money got over, his savings got over. Worse than that, he lost hope. Your money might get over, your savings might get over, but when you lose hope, that is the worst thing to happen to anybody in the world, is when you lose hope. In fact, I have read that people who commit suicide also commit suicide because they completely lose hope that there will never be a dawn again, that there will never be a good day ever again for them. And that's why they end their lives. In the same way, he lost his hope that he can never make it in Bollywood, and he left Bombay and went back to the army. Thank God they took him back. And then he worked in the army for the next 8 years. And after 8 years, again, he started getting the feeling that I don't belong here. I want to hold a pen in my hand. I don't want to hold a gun in my hand. And he continued writing poetry, songs, singing them to his friends, his mates, acting in plays in the army, theatre plays. And every single year he was getting encouragement that leave the army, go to Bombay, you don't belong over here. But the final reason why he left the army the second time he came to Bombay to try in films was, he got married. The second time when he went back to the army, his parents got him married. And he had his first child in 1956. My sister was born, Suman, the first child of the family, my eldest sibling. So when Suman was born, when his daughter was born, he remembered that his grandmother would always say that daughters bring good luck to fathers. In Punjabi they say कि बेटियां पियोनो good luck लांदी हैं, meaning daughters bring good luck for their fathers. So he remembered what his grandmother would believe and say, would say things like that daughters bring good luck. So when his own daughter was born, he took it as a sign of good luck. He said that because she was born, I felt that this is a sign from God that your daughter is born and daughters bring good luck. Now you leave the army a second time and go and try your luck again in films. And he left the army second time. I mean, with no hope that they'll ever take him back ever again. So it was like a do or die for him at this time. But it was simply because that his daughter was born. So my sister being born was the reason that we know Anand Bakshi today. Probably if she was not born first, you probably never have got the himmat or the courage to take such a big step and leave a secure government job, a job which gives you pension. Back in the 1950s, pension was a very big thing.
Yes.
To have a partition had just taken place of India. Everybody was insecure. People had lost money, lost homes, lost family members. And to have a pension job, a government job, a pension job of a soldier, and soldiers are very respected. It's a very respected community in India. To leave the job of a soldier, a respected community, plus to leave a job that gives you pension in your old age, was a very big step. And he says he took the step only because his grandmother would say that daughters bring good luck. So all the people here on this who are daughters and who have daughters, you have brought good luck to your daddy.
Thank you, Rakesh. That made me feel really amazing because I am a mother of 11-year-old daughter and I couldn't be happier, less happier because I think she just makes my world complete. Talking about happiness, I was actually surprised and elated and happy at the same time when I got to know about your third book, Let's Talk on Air. माय गॉड प्रेजेंटर्स को मतलब अक्सर साइडलाइन किया जाता है. लेट्स बी रियल हियर. यू नो, गाने हैं, म्यूजिक है, स्टेशन है, बातें हैं, बट प्रेजेंटर कौन है, उस आवाज के पीछे कौन है, अक्सर उसे साइडलाइन कर दिया जाता है. बट यू कैप्चर्ड दैट इन योर बुक लेट्स टॉक ऑन एयर अबाउट इंडियन रेडियो, इंडियन प्रेजेंटर्स. सो व्हाट वाज द रीजन? आई मीन, कुछ तो उसके पीछे ड्राइव होगा दैट यू मैनेज टू डू दैट.
Well, the drive was that I was looking for an opportunity to do something new, something different. I'd already written 2 books on directors, and I felt that if I write a third book on directors, how will I grow as a human being? You know, so I feel that whatever work we do in life, we must do something that is challenging and new to us, so that we can learn something from it. If you do the same old thing every day, I mean, how are we going to learn and become better people, or better writers, or better authors, or better fathers, or better brothers, or better sisters, whatever? Unless you learn, you meet new people, you can only learn from people. You can't learn from, I mean, of course you learn from movies, you learn from books, but I think you learn most by face-to-face interactions. So I felt that if I want to grow as a human being, I want to grow as an author, I want to grow as a person, I must do something different. So I thought of radio presenters because I always felt that radio presenters give us information about movies, about books, about NGOs, about a flood in the town, about an earthquake, about a terrorist attack in some city. Or, they talk about so many things, aspects of life, about the environment, about pollution, about politics. No, politics is they never spoken about. So I thought that these are people who tell us stories of so many things in this world. But we don't know their stories. Why is no one telling their stories? I mean, I want to know how Niloufar became an RJ. I am interested to know how Hrishikesh Kannan became an RJ. I mean, he's telling me stories about the whole world every single day, every single morning, 6-7 hours a day. He's telling me hundreds of stories of hundreds of songs, hundreds of people all over the world. Why is no one telling their stories? The people who are telling stories are as important as the stories themselves. So for me, it was my introduction to people who tell stories. I wanted to tell the stories of people who tell stories. So that is, and even the filmmakers actually tell stories. They tell stories through a different medium. So in a way, subconsciously, I chose the next topic to write on people who tell stories, but through the audio format. And another reason was that when I became an author, radio presenters began calling me for interviews to radio stations. Before that, I was always being called for interviews only because I was Anand Bakshi's son, which is a great thing. I'm very proud of my dad. But for the first time in my life, from 2015 onwards, they started calling me for who I was, for something which I had done on my own, Of course, with the help of support of family and friends, but something which I had done on my own, not my father's work. So when I started meeting more radio presenters, coming to more stations and doing interviews for my book, I got to know them even better. And I got to know many more radio presenters and I got to know them better. And I realized slowly, gradually that they are such interesting people. They're so positive. Even if they're going through the worst day, even if they had the worst night, even if they're in the worst relationship, you will not even get a hint of it. When they are on air, they will fire your imagination. They will make you jump with joy and dance with glee. They'll just make you feel so good that this is the best day of your life. Live this day to your fullest, brother. Today is the day. Live it to your fullest. Hear the best songs. Hear the rocking songs. Hear what I have to talk to you about life, about world, about a movie or about a book, or about an author. So I just felt that, man, these people are pepping us up every day. Let me write something about them. What makes them who they are? What is their life on air? What is their life off air? What are they like human beings? Like, multi-dimensional, because we just know them as presenters. That's one dimension. I wanted to showcase their life in multiple, in the other dimension. They're also mothers, they're also fathers, they're also brothers, they're also, employees. They also have fears of going blank on air. They also make mistakes on air. I mean, all these human things, which we all are. We all make mistakes. We all go blank. So many things happen to us. So I wanted to just showcase this real side of, also another real side of radio presenters. So I wrote that book. And I must say, I'm very proud. And so is Penguin, my publisher. It is the first book in the world. Radio is more than 100 years old. Nobody has bothered to write a book on radio presenter. Our book Let's Talk on Air is the first book in the world ever written on radio presenters. And we are very proud of it.
And I'm super proud to be part of it. Rakesh, you made me part of that book. इससे ज़्यादा मेरे लिए कोई खुशी की बात ही नहीं. I think ईमान की पैदाइश के बाद, after her birth, this is my second it moment, you know, where I feel I've achieved something. पता नहीं, you know, जिंदगी कितनी इंसान की आज है कल नहीं, but मेरे जो लिए loves आपने लिखे अपनी book में, वो हमेशा रहेंगे. So I'm very, very thankful to you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. I think now it's time to hear a song from Ma Shweta. She's got a lovely song.
Wonderful.
Shweta has got a lovely song which was written in the 1970s, mid 70s, but that song is relevant even today. Even today, when there is Rakhi, Rakhi is a Hindu function, of course, celebrated now in modern time, 2020, it is celebrated by various religions, not just Hindus. I mean, I have Muslim friends who celebrate Rakhi in their homes. So Rakhi, it's a song to do with Rakhi.